All right, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're skipping right past all those fleeting wellness buzzwords and diving headfirst into the actual hard neurobiology of how we eat. We're going to look at the concrete science behind our everyday dietary habits and figure out how to physically rewire our brain's relationship with food. Let's get into it. So, be honest with me for a second. When was the absolute last time you enjoyed a meal without a screen, an email, or even a steering wheel right in front of you? I mean, for most of us, a truly quiet meal is a pretty rare luxury these days, right? But as you'll see, this modern habit of relentless, distracted eating, it's taking a massive, totally hidden toll on our biology. To get a handle on this, here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the mindless eating epidemic, rewiring the gut-brain axis, the core of mindful eating, identifying the 7 hungers, practical protocols, and finally, navigating social eating. Starting us off with part 1, the mindless eating epidemic. You know, the hidden biological cost of all our multitasking is actually staggering. Eating while you're firing off emails or driving literally severs the critical communication lines between your gut and your brain's regulatory centers. It's crazy. When your brain is hyper-focused on a text message, it entirely misses the biological signals telling you what and exactly how much you're actually consuming. And this disconnect, it leads us straight to something called hedonic hunger. See, when we eat mindlessly in our modern world, which, let's face it, is totally saturated with highly palatable, ultra-processed stuff, we basically hijack our brain's dopamine reward pathways. This leads to compulsive, pleasure-seeking eating, rather than eating because our bodies actually need the fuel. We aren't eating for ourselves, we're eating just to give our brain's reward center a quick dopamine hit. Which brings us to section 2, rewiring the gut-brain axis. So the magic number you need to remember here is 20. Why? Because it takes roughly 20 minutes for your vagus nerve to send satiety signals, basically the I am full messages, from your stomach all the way up to your brain. If you're shoveling food in like it's an Olympic sport, your brain's complex hormonal system literally just doesn't have time to catch up. You end up overeating way before your brain even registers that you've had enough. But here's the really cool part. This is where neuroplasticity comes in. Mindful eating literally changes the physical structure of your brain. We're talking increased gray matter in your prefrontal cortex for better impulse control and a thicker insula, which boosts your awareness of internal hunger cues. It even calms down the default mode network to reduce emotional rumination. You are physically rewiring these distinct regions of your brain to short-circuit the entire cycle of emotional eating. Moving on to section 3, the core of mindful eating. Now, it's really important we delineate mindful eating from other frameworks out there. Mindful eating is a highly experiential, in-the-moment practice. It's about observation without judgment, right there at the dinner plate. Intuitive eating, on the other hand, is a much broader philosophy focused on totally rejecting the diet mentality. So think of mindful eating as the specific moment-to-moment clinical tool you use to actually achieve those broader intuitive goals. Let's dive into section 4. Identifying the 7 hungers. Enter Dr. John Chosen Bay's highly memorable matrix of the 7 hungers. Have you ever eaten something just because it looked amazing in a bakery window? Well, that's eye hunger. Or maybe you ate because you were super stressed out. That's heart hunger. The real trick here is identifying where that urge is coming from, because if it's heart hunger, I guarantee you, food is never going to resolve it. That requires non-food self-care and, honestly, relentless self-compassion. Okay, section 5, practical tools and protocols. All right, let's talk about some behavioral speed bumps you can start using today. First, the 1-breath pause. Literally just take 1 deep breath before your very first bite to assess if you're actually physically hungry. Second, thorough mastication. Try to chew each bite 20 to 40 times. And yes, I know, that is going to feel like an absolute eternity at first. Third, utensil discipline. Physically put your fork down between every single bite. These steps artificially slow your eating down, which finally gives your body that crucial 20-minute window to actually talk to your brain. Next up is the sensory engagement protocol. Actively using your 5 senses acts as an anchor, keeping your mind securely in the present moment. Observe the colors on your plate. Inhale the aroma, which, fun fact, actually jump-starts your digestion. Notice the texture. Listen to the crunch. This isn't just about enjoying your meal more. It's a foundational, rigorously evidence-based technique used in clinical programs to actively shatter that mindless autopilot we all get stuck in. And we can absolutely use digital tools to support these protocols. Take platforms like the Eat Right Now app, which is actually backed by clinical studies out of UCSF. They are clinically proven to reduce craving-related eating by a staggering 40%. By using these in-the-moment craving management exercises, you are quite literally retraining your brain's reward pathways. It's solid proof that when you combine modern tech with ancient mindfulness, you get highly measurable real-world results.
Finally, Section 6, Navigating Social Eating Mindfully.
We all know social events can be a total minefield for mindless eating, right? But using structured strategies totally changes the game. Set your intentions before you even arrive. Do a quick check of the menu beforehand so you aren't making impulsive choices when you're starving. When you're chatting, actively put your fork down and just listen. This naturally paces your whole meal. Start with a smaller plate and, this is a big one, physically step away from the food table. These little shifts move your focus off the buffet and back onto meaningful human connections. But listen, at the end of the day, we are all human. If you do overindulge at a party, it is absolutely vital that you approach it without an ounce of judgment or guilt. Beating yourself up only fuels the exact same stress that triggers more emotional eating. Treat yourself with the same kindness you'd show your best friend. Just acknowledge it, reflect on what triggered the emotion, and get right back to your mindful habits at your very next meal. It's all about progress, not perfection. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with this one final thought. Look at your very next meal as an opportunity. Ask yourself, are you eating to fill an emotional void, or are you eating to genuinely nourish your body and improve your well-being? Mindful eating is this quiet but incredibly powerful act of self-respect. It totally transforms the mundane act of just consuming food into an opportunity for real presence and lasting health. Thanks so much for joining me, and I challenge you to bring this new awareness to your very next plate.